train hard and fight easy, and that is the way I see it though. That's been the way I've seen it since I was a kid, and I always traveled to get the best training partners when I was in middle school and high school, and then going to Penn State for college. Obviously, I had the best training partners in the world, and I'm taking that same mindset into MMA. And I want to work with the best guys, best coaches, and I feel fortunate and grateful that they're wanting to work with me as well.
And if all goes well, like you're saying, and you get a finish, and it's another impressive performance, is this sort of the last fight you think before you start getting you to fight maybe like a ranked opponent or like a more notable opponent in the division? You feel like this is kind of the last one?
It's possible. I think that that's a conversation between myself and the UFC, and we'll figure out what we want to do. But I'm not in a rush. I'm only 28 years old. I just turned 28, and I got a lot of more time to continue to improve and develop and get better. But again, I've said it before, I'll say it again, the goal is to be the pound for pound #1 fighter in the world, and I want to continue to fight better and better guys, but at the same time, focus on the improvement aspect of it. Like, I need to get better to get to where I want to be, and so whatever the development looks like and the process, then that's what it'll be.
And just last one for me, Khamzat Chimaev now looks like he's a mainstay at 185. He's fighting Robert Whitaker coming up. I know this is down the line, but you got to be a bit excited about that potential matchup just with both of your styles.
Definitely excited about that matchup. I think obviously Khamzat's a little bit ahead of me in terms of position in the organization and rankings, but I feel like that's a matchup that a lot of people want to see, and that fight with Whitaker is going to be an amazing fight. Two guys that are competing at a very high level, and I'm looking forward to watching it, and definitely looking forward to that fight down the line.
Hey Bob, when you were 8 years old, you told your parents that you wanted cauliflower ear. Is that a moment where you're going to dedicate your whole life to the world of combat?
I think, it was. I think that I was just around it so much. My granddad wrestled in college, he was a wrestling coach. My dad wrestled his whole life, was a wrestling coach, and so it was just something that's what you're around, right? And the guys that I looked up to were high school wrestlers, college wrestlers, and they had it, and so for me, that was just my path. And again, there was other things I could have done, and it was never like something I was forced into, but I felt like it was my choice and what I loved, and yeah, I'll be involved in combat sports forever. Even when I'm done competing, I think that I'll coach at some capacity or be involved somehow.
And touching up again on the main card placement, I know you're probably more aware than anyone that some people weren't really too fan of that. So does that add an extra chip on your shoulder or motivation to go out there and make an even bigger statement?
It's interesting because I guess first off, it's not really me that decides that. I know that a lot of people, pull up the quote of me saying like, I'm a main card guy and stuff like that. But I feel like that at the end of the day, the UFC made a business decision, and it made sense for me to be on the main card. That being said, as far as the opinions of others, they're not super relevant to me. I feel like those are going to ebb and flow, and I'm confident that in a year or two, once I've established myself more and built my reputation in this sport more, that people will think it's a no-brainer and look back on it, and it'll make a lot more sense.
Last one from me, fellow fighter under the same management, Ilya Topuria had his big title win in Anaheim a couple months ago. What did you make of that performance?
So happy for Ilya. He's a guy that I've been watching for a long time, and just you could see it as a student of the sport. I could see it coming almost, just with his skills and his mindset and being able to be around him. You could tell that he just had a championship aura around him. Probably even before he got into the UFC, and so. I was so happy to kind of see his dreams be realized, and it's definitely motivational for me seeing somebody come up and achieve his goals. That it's now I feel like I'm the next guy to go do that.
Hey Bo, I was wondering, how has being a father changed any of your mindset and just that approach to competition now? Just having that proverbial something more to fight for.
It's interesting. I think that for me, I've always been very competitive. I'm always somebody that I'll do whatever I need to do in the competition to win. And having a son, I feel like more than anything, I just want to be a good dad to him. I don't think it really gives me any extra motivation. I already feel fully motivated internally, but I definitely feel excited just to spend time with him and get to know him as he grows and gets older. And you know, I want to be a good fighter, and you know, I have big goals within fighting, but it's more important for me to be a good dad. So whatever that looks like, it could be, you know, outside fighting. That's my priority.
Two-parter, what was it like taking him to his first wrestling match? And two, have you already thought about what college you'd like to make him an offer?
That's funny. It was a really cool, you know, kind of surreal moment to be able to bring him to a Penn State match at, I guess at that point he would have been, you know, 2 months old, and you know, just it was a cool experience. Obviously, I had a lot of great memories at Red Hall in the Penn State arena, and to bring him there was special. And as far as, you know, him going to school or what he's going to do, I think that I would love it if he chose to do something different than me, just because I feel like, you know, he can be his own person and figure out what he likes. And if it's wrestling, then that's great. I'll obviously support him, but you know, I definitely want to leave that up to him and let him figure that out.
You mentioned Penn State. Real quickly, what are your thoughts on them breaking the tournament record scoring points that's been since like 1997?
Yeah, amazing. You know, I think the team this year at Penn State was extremely special. A lot of special individuals, you know, comprised that team. You know, had two. Obviously, you mentioned the team scoring record, but also, you know, 2 4-time NCAA champions in the same year, which there's probably no way that's ever going to happen again. And so, you know, for me, I'm just grateful to be able to be around those guys and still be in there and train with these guys on a daily basis. They obviously helped me a ton in keeping my wrestling sharp, and I'm grateful that I just get to be around high-level people. It's something that I feel like, you know, is a big blessing.
Boom. Oh, can I get one more? You are very dialed in. I heard you on the Rogan podcast. You're very regimented, very wise beyond your years with your schedule and your training and all of that. Cody was in here. He was saying that some people around him, they said that you're like the Jesus Christ of MMA. I believe that as you keep climbing the ladder, people will try to pick at that cool, calm psyche. One, what do you think about that? And two, can you walk on water?
Well, I definitely, I don't love that comparison as a Christian. You know, I think it's, you know, I don't really feel like that about myself at all. I think that I'm just trying to do my best out here, and you know, I'm a little confused by the question, I guess, but I feel like, yeah.
Are you prepared for people to, as you're climbing the ladder, to pick at your calm, cool demeanor?
Yeah, I feel fine, you know, with people saying whatever they want to say. Of course, you know, people are going to try to get a rise out of me, or, you know, say things that to throw me off, but I'm just trying to go out there and accomplish what I want to accomplish, and however they want to go about it is really irrelevant to me. It makes no difference, and you know, people want to sell the fight, people want to build the fight up, and I get that, but for me, no matter what's said in the lead up or the fight week, we're going to get locked in the cage, so that's what I'm focused on, and anything that is important will come to light right in that moment.